I like that guy's content. He's kind of like you, kind of. He just posts a lot of stuff at one time. So he doesn't care what people think. He just puts stuff out there.
Okay. Skip.
Where's that bag?
Well, hello there. I don't know if it's actually live or not. Hold on. Now I pushed start, unless it's a second stream out there.
Man, that's great.
In the Cowboys or the Seahawks to get the job done this weekend?
I'm a Cowboys guy. So, like, I've been on the Cowboys bandwagon and the Jason Garrett bandwagon specifically since way before they started going this winning streak. I had text beef with Stephen A. many times because I thought he was wrong about Jason Garrett, and I continue to think that he's wrong about Jason Garrett. Over the last several years, Jason Garrett, they had a rough start to the beginning of his tenure there, but the last few years, he's been really good. When Tony Romo went down, they went 13-3. Can you imagine any other coach being able to go 13-3 when you lose your starting quarterback? They went 13-3 and then lost in the playoffs because of the catch rule. And, that was because of the Aaron Rodgers crazy pass on the sideline to Cook. Yep. The year prior to that, or 2 years before that, was because they lost because of the catch rule with Des Bryant. So, like, he hasn't been bad. He gets bashed a lot, I think in part because of the way he looks. He's kind of funny, easy to make fun of, and because it's in Dallas where you get a lot of scrutiny. But they've done a good job, and you look at the job that they've done this year. They brought in Amari Cooper, and they have involved him in the offense quite effectively. They're 7-2 since they brought in Amari Cooper, with the exception of that one game where they didn't score any points. But other than that, they've been really good and really impressive. And I think we should, if we're going to bash Jason Garrett when they underachieve, we should credit him when they overachieve. And I think that they will beat the Seahawks, because the Seahawks, frankly, they have overachieved already. We didn't expect much from them this season. Their defense isn't as good as it needs to be to compete in the playoffs.
I get nervous about Russell Wilson against the Cowboys, especially in the playoffs. I was thinking back to when Seattle went to Carolina and played Cam them the Super Bowl year, and how good Cam them were, and Russ pushed them to the edge and almost came out of there with a W. But I'm going with my Cowboys too, because I think Zeke and this offensive line have found themselves. And everything is created after that, right? We talk about Dak. Dak hadn't had gaudy numbers at all this season long. I think he has a 57% QBR this year. Like, that's not that. Technically in the NFL, that's not winning quarterback play when you think about the teams that we see or the teams that we're picking to win the Super Bowl. But with that being said, man, this game is in Dallas. Dallas seemed to turn over a leaf when Jerry Jones put it out there, like every game is a Super Bowl. Because to me, what that means is, being in that organization, you're going to get fired if you don't get this done. So a lot of things have happened. Jason Garrett was pushed, and I think he coached more freely. I think Linehan coached more freely and called offense more freely. Dak played freely, because once you don't have anything to lose, once you know what the landscape is, which Jerry made it very clear, it's this or bust. You can go out and just play with freedom. Now, either you're gonna be looking for a job somewhere, or you're gonna make the best of what's happening. And the fact that they've gotten in the playoffs with their formula that made them good the 13-3 season, I give them the edge against Seattle.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Hold on.
So you trust Jason Garrett? We got two.
I do.
You trust Jason Garrett
in this game?
So you've been riding with Jason Garrett.
Me and JG go way back.
You've been riding with Jason Garrett, because I sure hell don't. I don't trust Jason Garrett at all in big situations like this. Here's my thing. Here's my thing with Dallas. We saw it early in the year. Is that with this failure of staying true to your identity. And a lot of times with these offensive-minded coaches, they kind of get they get blinded by, you know, the kind of the shiny things. They want to be able to throw the ball and do all those type of things. Where with the Dallas Cowboys, their formula, first of all, their identity is on defense.
Yep.
That's where they're going to win the football game. If Dallas is going to do anything in the postseason, it's going to be defense and it's going to be running the football with Zeke. Okay, and when you're talking about an offensive-minded coach like Jason Garrett, I know what happens in situations. These guys want to start slinging the ball, throwing the ball all over the place. And I trust Pete Carroll because I've seen Pete Carroll in big-time situations. I've seen Russell Wilson in big-time situations. They got the most potent rushing attack in the National Football League. Their defense is actually playing pretty well. They got the components to go anywhere and play and win football games in Seattle. They got the pedigree. They got the coach.
Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, man, this literally does not work. We've had enough of the talking heads out there because time for talk is now over. It's done. Everything that has happened from the OTAs, the draft, free agency, training camp, preseason, 16 regular season games, it's done, it's over. Everything is now on the line. And let's get open for business. Incognito, I appreciate that. Everything that those guys have been working for the last year that started, that started last year at this time comes down to tomorrow night. Question is, are they ready? Only way we're going to know about that. Junebug with the super chat. Appreciate that, my man. Junebug, we keep running into each other. I don't know. Where have I been seeing you, Junebug? I know I've seen you recently besides here. I don't remember where that was, but I know we've been running into each other. You know, I'm excited. I don't know that I'll sleep tonight. I usually don't sleep I usually only sleep about 3 or 4 hours a night, and that's the truth. I've got a screwed up body and I got to literally get up and move and usually don't go back to sleep. So I'm constantly reading and trying to learn as much as I can. But I got a question for a fan that's out there right now that I see that's in here. TGK TV. TGK, how you doing tonight, man? New YouTube channel. You know, I've been accused of not trying to help out other YouTube channels, that there are a lot of channels out there that need to be, need help, kind of bring the spotlight on to get people to check it out. I had somebody who lambasted me for that. So let me give a shout out to TGK TV right there. He told me to keep the same energy for Dak Prescott. I'm sorry, man, you know what? Get yourself a nice, little rum, a little bit of coffee in there and stuff like that, and put a lime in there and stuff, something to help that throat. I'm sorry you're not feeling good, man. I got the fever too right now. I am burning up for my Dallas Cowboys for the game tomorrow. You can see, look, that's sweat. Look at this. It's sweating. I got a cold. I barely got my voice. I hope I can make it through the game tomorrow. But you know what? It don't matter. I know that Tyrone Crawford was carried off the field 2 weeks ago. He's going to be there tomorrow. So I can't complain about having a cold. But TDK, you said keep the same energy about Dak Prescott because you're about winning Super Bowls. And I'm curious how you feel about Dak Prescott. If Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys win a game tomorrow, let's get crazy out here right now. What if the Dallas Cowboys win a game tomorrow and then turn around the following week and win a second playoff game? Will it end this hatred of Dak Prescott? That he's a bum, he can't lead it? Because I'm listening to these guys right here that talk about, well, I don't know about Dak Prescott and everything else because when I look at all these other teams out there and things with the quarterback, and stop right there. Stop right there. I'm sick and tired of hearing about this franchise quarterback crap. Kirk Cousins, he's a franchise quarterback. Where are they? Where are they? They paid him $84 million guaranteed. He doesn't have to play another play again in his life. He doesn't have to get him to the playoffs or anything. This guy lost to Dak Prescott 4 times, never beat him. But they talk about how good he is. And where is he going to be tomorrow? Sitting his happy ass on the couch. Aaron freaking Rodgers. The bad man. Did he put that team on his back and get them to the playoffs? No, he kind of threw the coach under the bus. We had the Falcon fan. The dude is crazy. Dude is so much of a stalker. He got blocked on the channel here that he follows me on Vimeo and then emails me on a regular. Sometimes he emails me the same email 3 times. This week, no joke. Wait, hold it. No joke. This is the kind of crazy. I'm amazed at how much people actually hate me. But this dude, Kumar Spence. Look at this. Let me zoom this up here so hopefully you see this. Okay. Kumar Spence. You see there? 3 times. Every half an hour. The same email. Look, let me pull it up. This is the kind of crap that I deal with. I can't, it won't even download. But look, it's a Cowboys coffin. Because I told him that his team was overrated in the beginning of the season. Oh, no, man. You need to root for a real team. Oh, Law, why are you on that channel? Law?
Yes, indeed, man. How everything living?
I don't see you.
Maybe I have to hang up and call you back then.
Yeah, for some reason you're on my other computer. Okay, hold on. Let me call you. How about that?
10-4.
Yeah. Oh, now he came up. Okay, but you're on the other. You're not on the good headphones.
That's okay. Just call me back.
No. No, actually, we're cool. Actually, just hear you. I just need to turn on the other mic here.
No worries, Dad.
Okay, we are good. Okay. It's just, I don't know why. I think I must have 2 different Skype channels or something or other because you came up on this computer, which is okay, and we're good. So everybody, you know you are listening to nothing but the best. Law Nation, looks like you're getting kind of Zeke-esque there with that beard, man.
Oh, man, it is what it is. Well, at least it's not the other guy. Everybody say Harden, right?
DT with the super chat. Thank you very much. I tell you what, man. Everybody's been looking at me and I look like a Willie Bear, because I haven't shaved and I haven't cut my hair and stuff. So I'm getting this is my playoff look. Okay? I'm trying to look like a wild man. I'm trying to look like a wolf. So people have been commenting and saying, man, what's going on? You look rough. That's right. I want to look like hell. I want to look like a nightmare. So I'm ready for this game. But I was talking about all these people that keep talking about my quarterback and talking about, that he's trash. They think that this team can't win with this guy in the playoffs. And I'm sitting there thinking, don't we have the 2nd most wins in the NFL over the last 3 years?
Yeah, we do.
I just don't understand where all this comes from, where everybody figures that we just can't win with Dak Prescott.
Yeah, man. You know what's going on? I think that, for the last 14 years of quarterbacks that we had or what have you, there's always been that type of situation whereas we supposed to win, but we didn't. Like 2006, 2007, 2009, 2014, maybe you can throw in 2016. Maybe those years have got the attention of everybody to be so negative. And it just made Stephen A. Smith's career, made a whole bunch of other people, like the Shannon Sharp's careers and things like that. So maybe that's what it is.
Well, I don't know, but all I know is Josh Manny 24 with the super chat. All I know is this team, every time they keep saying things that we can't do, it seems like we do it. And I almost like it being the underdog, because whenever we're expected to do well, we usually don't. But all season long, how many times they left us for dead? How many times they said, well, Dak Prescott, he regressed, man, he's going to be RG3. But you look at it, he finished up the season at, what, 15th? I know that's not great, but when you consider the first half, he was about 27, 28. That's a whole lot of moving.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about our opportunity for tomorrow? Chaz Jewell, the super chat.
Well, all we have to do is just score early and often, and when we can do that, then everything else changes. You know, the whole complexity of everything. If we can continue to score early and often, then things will happen in the best factors. I think that the Seattle Seahawks, when we play against them, they can't stop the run. Right. So if we continue to run and take care of those things, it'll be all right.
Well,
we'll be all right.
I'm praying that's the case, because we got to get this win. If we don't get this win, we will hear so much crap. We will get the talking, because it's literally been quiet on my channel for about the last 2 weeks, because it's like they're laying in wait for the Cowboys to lose the game. And, you know, as soon as they do, I told you, you know, Stephen A. Smith was right. They're the accident waiting to happen. They stink. They suck. They sorry. This, I'm just sick and tired of all of this stuff, man. I am ready for this team to do something and do something special.
Well, this is the thing, Mark. When somebody say accident waiting to happen, it's cushioning their argument. It's like saying this right here. You know, the sun will shine tomorrow. 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna be 100% right with that, right? Right. So when you talk about a team that's the accident waiting to happen, I mean, you can say that about 31 other teams. There's only one team to win the Super Bowl. And when we're talking about, this is another thing that people like to regurgitate about the Stephen A. Smiths, those people that follow his sayings and stuff, delusional fans. This is the thing. The word fans means fanatic. You're supposed to be crazy about your team. That's what the root word fanatic is all about. So,
I'm crazy.
so you're supposed to be delusional in a sense. Well, it's just crazy to me, though. You know.
Well, I'm ready for this thing, but I'm sitting, in my mind, it kills me, because as I look at it, when I look at the Seattle Seahawks schedule, they had the same record as we did. They did beat us early in the season, but that team, that was before Amari Cooper. This team is totally different before Amari Cooper. I think we had less than 200 yards passing in that game, and we were playing in Seattle. And Seattle is great at home, but they're only 4-4 on the road. You know? Wow. Yeah. They were 4-4 on the road. Okay, now we're 7-1 at home. We played like garbage most of the time on the road. I mean, we were 3-5, but we have been playing crazy at home, you know? And I'm sitting there looking at that. If they're kind of 500 and we are 7-1 at home, and our defense is playing the way that it has been playing, Seattle's defense is playing pretty good, but they're not world beaters. Their run-stopping defense is 4.9 yards a carry. I mean, am I missing? And that's not going against the NFL rushing champ that didn't even play in the last game. So you would think that Zeke should be able to eat at home, that the Cowboys should be able to hear the plays that are being called, and now you've got an Amari Cooper, you've got a Blake Jarwin that's playing well, you've got Michael Gallup beginning to gallop on down the field. And so, you know, it's football, and I know we don't have the experience, and we got Jason Garrett, but to basically kind of say, yeah, the Cowboys, they don't have a chance, I just don't understand that one.
That's the narrative that everybody want to go with, you know, saying that the Cowboys the worst team in the playoff, and just not even mention the Ravens, not mention the Eagles, not mention anybody else, but somehow, some way that we are the worst team in the playoff when we beat the Eagles twice, we beat the Saints for crying out loud, and we've been handling our business. One would argue the fact, like you said before, going into the playoff, and if I was to tell everyone, like towards the latter part of the stretch, we were 7-1, toward the latter part of the stretch, you would think that would be the high team, but somehow we are not. We're the team that finally made it to the playoff, basically.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. You're not getting the feed from me because I don't have a webcam on that computer. Would you actually like to see my face?
What do you say? So we can go back. Oh, let me see.
No. Well, here, let me go ahead and call you from the other computer. That way, the webcam is there, and the sound quality will be better as well.
No worries.
Okay,
all right,
so
go ahead.
So let me hang you up on this one, and I'll call you on the other one. Okay.
So
all right. Forgive me, guys. Evidently, I have 2 Skype accounts, and he called the other one, the one that I don't even know what the name of it is. Okay, let's see if we got him back on there. And we'll flip to this screen. Yeah, I need an AV guy. I know. I need somebody who knows what they're doing on the stuff as opposed to me. Okay, there you go. We got you up there.
Right.
See, now you can see me, right?
Yeah, I can see you now.
But hold on. I got to address something, though, real quick now, Law. Okay? There's some rumors out there floating around, okay, that when people come on my channel and things that, there's always a little flirting going on and things like that. But, this is my dog. I do love my man here. So, there's nothing going on here with me and Law like you guys think is going on with me and stuff like that, all right? But seriously, though, I have a good feeling about this game. I think that the Cowboys, Michael's turning into a hater in here. But I feel like this team is totally different than what our teams are in the past. I feel like they have changed the narrative that this season, more than anything else, we're winning games that normally we would lose. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? When we were playing the Texans and the Redskins, those were the typical games that we'd always get so close to winning, and we'd find that way to lose. The Dak Prescott gets sacked right there on the 1-yard line, fumbles the ball, they score, the Redskins win. Those were typically what always used to happen to me, or it seemed like they would always happen to the Cowboys. But since Amari Cooper's been here, it seems like that whole thing has changed completely, where we're finding ways to win instead of lose games. Mm-hmm. Am I wrong on that?
Well, we find ways to win, and then on top of that, what's going on is you still got a young quarterback who have to understand what the teams are trying to throw at him and see what the defenses are trying to take away. Mm-hmm. And I thought what we can do is we can look at what Amari Cooper is able to do out there on the field. Roll coverage. Got 2 guys over him, over the top guy and the underneath guy. What happens when you plan that? Now you got 2 defenders on that defensive side of the ball that's accounted for, and then you can see Cole Beasley is eating more because now he's got the one-on-one. When you throw into Tavon Austin's, when you go into those different looks, what happened here is the game is beginning to slow down for Dak Prescott. And I understand that we can look at the Pat Mahomes career, we can look at other quarterbacks around the league career, but the thing is, Dak Prescott is the only guy for right now, from what we can see, outside of a Kirk Cousins, outside of a Tom Brady, that's starting in the NFL and is winning, putting up W's. So everybody else, first-round draft pick, we can go line by line on every other team, but we can say, hey, that's a first-round draft pick, or that's a second-round draft pick. Dak Prescott is getting his legs up under him, and he's seeing things a little faster now.
The thing to me was it seemed like they changed their play calling last week. They ended up doing a more 3-step drop back. They did more play action, and they ended up rolling him out, faking the dive, and letting him do the naked bootleg on the outside, things that I wish they had been doing all season. But the thing that scares me is it seems like whenever we go through and we have a really good game and they open things up, then the next week we go back to the simple shit. We did that against Jacksonville. Jacksonville, we went out, and we were just balling and going every which way with it. Then the next week we go out, and you don't do crap. It's just like the Colts game. We ended up not doing a single run with Dak Prescott, and it seemed like everything was just 7-step drop back. I think they got to just go out there and just say, you know what, we just got to let this thing rip. We can't hold anything back. We have to try and be unpredictable in the playoffs here.
Yeah, you got to. But this is the thing. The Colts situation, Flutes, he's been in this locker room for 7 years. And I'm not trying to discount his ability to understand what the Cowboys are trying to do, but he know every strength and he knew every weakness of the Cowboys. And then on top of that, of course, he played against Dak Prescott. His defense played against Dak Prescott for the last 2 years. So it was a game that we knew for sure that Jason Garrett don't change up his creativity at all, the little that he had out there. And, Scott Linehan is Scott Linehan.
The little that he had. Damn, man.
It is what it is, man.
Now, the question will be we didn't do well against Seattle last time. And I thought that Chris Richard was going to be the difference maker in that one, but it ended up being Earl Thomas was the difference maker. Do you think we're going to have a better defensive plan this time for Russell Wilson? They ended up running the ball a whole lot against us, but they were only averaging like 2.9 yards a carry, but they still kept grinding and grinding and grinding. And with those turnovers that Earl Thomas got, that to me was the difference making that game. How do you think that Chris Richard, who's going to be interviewing next week with 3 other teams, is going to come out here with a game plan?
Oh, man, I think the competition committee needs to rewrite these rulings here as far as the coaching, the assistant coaching's going out there interviewing, because time is time. Everybody, I always say this, time is money, right? And the moment that you try to say, okay, I'm going to craft up, you've been on interviews before, people in the chat box been on interviews before. You sit down, you go over the list of questionings, you may talk to your better half and say, okay, how do I sound now? Or what should I articulate in this particular setting? All that time and all that focus and the concentration of energy of the mind is being moved from your mind to thinking about other things that can help benefit your career, which is cool. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have that ability to go out there to, I guess, interview. But what I'm saying, the competition committee needs to sit everybody down and say, okay, to make this thing fair, let's just, after the season, after the Super Bowl, you can do all of the interviews you want.
Thomas Garrett with the super chat. Yeah. I agree, because it'll be a distraction for the Cowboys. It could be one of those things that the players say, you know what, let's win it for him, but you don't know if it's going to end up taking his mind off of it. And I'll be honest, I hate to say this, and this is going to sound racist, and I don't mean to sound racist. Don't people take it that way? But what happens to most black candidates, they're not offered positions at teams that are winning situations. You're getting the Jets or the Cleveland Browns and things like that, and you're getting one chance and one opportunity at getting a job. And if you fail, you don't get a second chance. But you can look around at some of these other coaches that have not busted a great and get opportunity after opportunity. I mean, some of these guys get, like Chip, what's his name?
Chip Kelly?
Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly had an Eagle team that was full of Pro Bowl players, gutted the team, and they kept going downhill. He gets fired and immediately gets hired in San Francisco and destroys that team. That opportunity doesn't happen for black coaches. And I'm sorry, some people will say, things about me, this, that, and the other, but it's the reality. And so if you're Chris Richard, do you take a Jets job that you look and say that's a train wreck? Or do you take a Miami ones, which nobody, Jimmy Johnson didn't have success with them. Nick Saban didn't have success with them. Do you take these jobs, or Tampa Bay, that are not the optimal situation? And if you're Jerry Jones, do you go ahead and make some kind of deal? Because I believe they've done some kind of a deal with Will McClay. Will McClay could be a GM and basically pick anywhere he wants to go. When you look at the people that they've drafted and things like that people didn't believe in but have been now Pro Bowlers, Abdul Ahmed, thank you for the super chat, that are Pro Bowl players, the Jalen Smiths, you look at the Van Der Esch's, you look at the DeMarcus, all these guys are homegrown that they found in this front office. And you look around and a lot of teams are saying, you know what, we'd like to get that guy. The Texans wanted him last year, but he is known as the head of scouting. He's not GM. So Jerry had to do something behind the scenes and either pull out the Brinks truck for him or say, you're just a GM, I just need the title.
You know what? This is what we call life, man. It happened in every arena. It's just that the NFL is so, exposed to a lot of things from a media aspect. But we already know Pookie and Ray, if they hit $1 million and they got a job, and I grew up with them, and they say, hey, Law, you're not even qualified, but I got you, fam. That's what the NFL is about right now. And with the fact that some money, big money, like they say, some money, all money is not good money. And that's what the thing is. Todd Bowles may not ever get another opportunity to be a head coach somewhere. But is it racist? No. It's just like I said, Pookie and Ray get a job somewhere and they get millions and millions of dollars and they say, hey, Law, what's good? I'm going to be following them. So I look at the same picture with the NFL. It's crazy in a sense, but the Jets, if they give Chris Richard an offer, it's going to be hard for him to turn that down because as man, we are conquerors. You see, just like if you got a contractor's job and they say, okay, Mark, hey, can you get this job done in 10 days? Because I really need it done. And I heard that you're the best contractor on this side of the earth. Can you get it done in 10 days? The average guy can get it done in 20. But if I pay you a little bit extra to get it done in 10, you say, when can I start? You see what I'm saying? You're a conqueror, you know.
Yeah.
You're going to figure out.
I want to address one comment to somebody because they said no. You know, they said there's no racism. Marvin Lewis got to keep his job for 16 years with the Bengals, but I will tell you the Bengals are not a great organization. Okay, their owners are cheap and stuff. It's not about winning. Because here's the thing: you don't have to win in the NFL to make money. There's revenue sharing. You're getting paid whether you win or not. And in fact, if you don't spend that cap money, guess what? It ain't going anywhere else but with the team. And so Marvin Lewis stayed there because we don't want to pay somebody else. We're doing fine. You know, we make the playoffs once in a while and things like that. We'll keep it just as it is. So, you know, that's not exactly saying, oh, there's no racism. And the fact that you say, well, 90%, somebody said 90% of the players in the NFL are black. And that's what the key word is, players. It's not 90%, but it's players. But how many black owners are there? How many black GMs are there? How many black, well, it seemed like all black coaches were the ones that were fired. And you looked at the teams that they were at, you're looking at it and saying, it's not like the Jets are winning a whole lot with anybody. It's not like Tampa Bay has won since John Gruden left with a team that was built by somebody else. So that's
my thing is with this, Mark, it's a slippery slope. There's 32 owners in the NFL, only one being a minority. He's down there in Jacksonville. And you got to buy your way in. You got to get voted in as well. Yeah. It's one of those things where his brothers are out here. It's not a handful of them that got this billionaire. You got to be a billionaire with a fee to buy into the league now. True. And you can try to put your money together like the Puff Daddy and all. Yeah. Steph Curry. They try to get some money together to buy the Panthers, but it still wasn't enough money. And then their I guess their background and what they're doing in their business wasn't stable enough as far as communications. All that comes into play. But in this world. If it was super racist, I understand how this planet is now, but you wouldn't have the Magic Johnsons of the world buying into the LA Dodgers and owning several thousands of Starbucks and able to ultimately be one of the guys that's in the Lakers house, and you wouldn't have the Michael Jordans of the world owning the Charlotte's Bobcats. So it's a two.
Shout out to Cleveland Brown. That would be a great one if I could get LeBron on the show. Okay, yeah. Good luck with that one. Okay. All right. So we'll get away from that one. Let's just hope that the Dallas.
It's a slippery slope.
Oh, I know. But you know, I get enough people that hate me anyway, as it is. So it's all good. But hopefully, we can find a way to hold on to them. Maybe they say you are assistant head coach. They give him the Jason Garrett treatment, like when Jason Garrett was hired as the offensive coordinator and paid like a head coach and coach in waiting. Maybe they do that with him or something.
Because he defensive coordinator once Rob Martinelli retires.
I think he needs to be more than defensive coordinator. I think he needs to be assistant head coach.
Well, defensive coordinator is a starter.
He was already defensive coordinator in Seattle with the Legion of Boom. Yeah, he's got that on his resume. At least say, I am the next person in charge when Jason Garrett trips up.
Wow, that would be
okay. To me, that's what the Cowboys have to do. And I'm telling you, to me, he was the difference. You can say Van Der Esch, you can say moving Byron Jones. I say Chris Richard being there was the difference maker on that defense because they are playing with passion. They are playing like him. You know, he's the kind of coach that gets you fired up. He's the kind of guy that carries the flag into battle, that you want to go ahead and sacrifice everything you got to make sure that you get a win for that guy. So you don't find guys with that kind of passion, with that kind of knowledge, that kind of skill that can lead men. And you better do everything you can to hold on to him.
He is focused too.
Yeah, he's focused.
Remember when it's all over at the game? Let's look straight ahead.
So that's where I feel on that one. Now, as far as our Cowboys go tomorrow, we got to run the ball, and we got to be able to throw the ball deep, I think.
Yeah, we got to throw like 4 quarters. I know it's cliche to throw the ball deep 4 quarters, but this is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
What works out for us as far as throwing the ball deep, and I know a lot of people hate it, that reverse sweep.
Yeah.
It gets people out of that box, believe it or not. If you try to play that single high safety look and with that reverse sweep, okay, that means that one person better get home. If not, that's 6 points on the board. And trust me, Tavon Austin, he got his player legs from like ready last week. They should be good to go this week. Tomorrow they should be good to go. And then on top of that, if you add in Amari Cooper and you put Tavon Austin on the same side, there's a guy named Blake Jarwin.
Yeah, and that's when we got rid of Des Bryant last year.
Right.
Your screen is froze up, and I don't know if it's on my end or your end.
Oh, okay.
You're not.
The NFL Illuminati is coming out.
Everybody's always coming after us and stuff. They don't like the fact that we've been putting so much knowledge on there. But when we cut Des Bryant, the thing that you'd look at, because Dak's got some numbers where you look at it and say, damn, is that really true? But whenever we've hit like 7 players or more, we've always won. And I think the mentality was, you know what, if we just get, some guys, and we just have Dak pass it around to these 7 guys, we're going to get wins. But not realizing that you do need a difference maker like an Amari Cooper or Des Bryant on there. But to me, what I always said is the offense, when it's working right, is like death by 1,000 cuts. Because you don't know where it's coming from. See, right now, to me, if you're a defensive coordinator and you look at this team, you are picking which way you're going to die.
Right.
Is it going to be that you're going to put 8 men in the box and try and stop Zeke? And now you got Amari Cooper who can catch in traffic, right? And take it to the house. So you're leaving one-on-one coverage on him. And if you decide to double him, now all of a sudden you got Michael Gallup who can go deep.
Wow.
Right?
Preaching to us now, man.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so now all of a sudden, what do? You're going to double cover him, single high on him, and then worry about Zeke? Somebody's going to get free. And now with Blake Jarwin, and believe me, early part of the season, we were talking about Blake Jarwin, like, why is that guy on the field? But him high pointing the ball last week, getting up in air, and Dak throwing it up high to him. Now you got a tight end. So you're a defensive coordinator. How do you stop the Dallas Cowboys? I know we don't score a lot of points because it's the red zone that we're failing in. But all of a sudden, there's a whole lot of moving parts in there that you got to worry about.
Well, let me pull back and I can play devil's advocate just a little bit, okay? Cowboy Nation, this is the only problem that I see. I see a Frank Clark, and then next to Frank Clark, I see a Jaron Reed, Alabama boy. Now, I'm not too much worried about Frank Clark. I think my guy, Tyron Smith, making it slow him down a little bit. Yeah. I'm talking about that pressure to the inside. That Jaron Reed got, 10.5 sacks? And we already know that Connor Williams, he's not the biggest burly guy in the world.
Yeah,
right?
but wait a minute. Time out on him. I think actually Connor Williams getting hurt was the best thing that could have happened to him.
Go ahead.
Because, and here's why I say that, because he went in there day one and basically was the starter up there. And he was getting eaten alive. You could look at his technique and you could see that he was up there, the low man always wins, right?
Right.
You could see when you start playing chess games blocking, you're defeated. And that's what he ended up doing. He did not keep his technique. And you're right, he is small. He doesn't have that build yet. Right. But if he had used his technique, if he could have kept his technique, keeping his body low, getting his hands and keeping separation and keeping that guy off of him, instead of doing these kind of numbers, him getting hurt and sitting a couple of games and watching, when he came in for Zach Martin, when Zach Martin went down, he was playing better than Zach Martin was. And I believe that gave him the chance to kind of catch his breath
Right.
and get back into, okay, this is what I got to do. And I think he's going to play well tomorrow. And the fact that Zach Martin got that week off, well, actually 2 weeks off to kind of heal, I think that he's going to have a spring set. I think Tyron Smith being in there is going to make a difference, because this is the first time in a long time that we've had actually that whole offensive line back together on that field. We've done
I agree with that.
We've done patchwork every single week. We had Tyron Smith gone for a game, so now we got Cam Fleming in there. We had Zach Martin go down, so now you got Connor Williams in there. We've had Connor Williams go down, then you got Xavier Salafau. The only person, two guys who have played the whole time is Looney Tunes, who did not think he was going to be starting anytime soon, did not think he was going to sniff the field, and has started every play. And Lyle Collins. Everybody else has been moving around all over the place. So this is, to me, the best offensive line that we will put out there in quite a while.
But my only thing is with this is that when I look back at tape on Tyron Smith, yes, he's hold down his side of the ball decently this year. Like I said before, and please don't give me hate mail, much more hate. I'm saying that Tyron Smith is not a Pro Bowl caliber player for this year. For this year, he has not played to the levels of Pro Bowl or what we accustomed to. But what I'm saying is collectively too, is what's going on with him as well. When he sees the young Connor get beat, he tends to try to help and combo block. And what happened is his man gets free, and then that's when Frank Clark's of the world. He is nasty. Frank Clark is nasty. And then, like I said before, don't sleep on Jaron Reed. So I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Okay, this is where this is where coaching and play calling comes in, though.
True that.
We got the hot boys. Hot boys have been eating. You can look at Randy Gregory and you can look at D-Law right now. That combination is becoming nasty, right?
Yeah.
But you know what the Colts did to us to negate that pass rush? 3-step drop back.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, go. You go and do that with a Cole Beasley. That's what you have to start doing, because then that doesn't allow that defense enough time to get there on that quarterback. But we continue to keep trying to do 7-step drop back, which is Dak's weakest thing of being that pocket and having to sit and wait and wait and wait. You need to go ahead and get him out in space so he's not a stationary target, and you need to get rid of the ball quick.
True that.
So, I mean, that's the way I would look at it. But again, I'm just a guy with a day job and a voodoo doll. So, I don't run the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not the coach or anything. But to me, that's some of the game planning, and where we sometimes get to be hamstrung is with what the coaching is doing.
Yes. It'll work out, guys. All we got to do is just, like you said before, time of possession, TOP. We win that, and we eliminate the turnovers on our side of the ball.
And if we can just get a couple of turnovers, that'll be. We need a few turnovers. Oh, Lord.
And no field goal kicks within the 30-yard line.
Yeah,
right?
only 50 or further, right? Okay.
Right.
Dang, my dog farted. Okay, all right. Is he an old dog? I'm looking at some of the comments and stuff in here. Some people have been saying, "Where's Katie?" I'm actually going to do a poll in a video coming up. You've seen Katie. I've run into you over her channel too. Katie is in England, so it's like 5 hours later than it is here right now. And she's a Dallas Cowboy fan, and she's been on the show a couple times. But I got a lot of people who said they didn't like her being on here and figured that, they come here for real Cowboys news and think having her on here is not a good idea. What do you think about that?
I think it's a fantastic idea, because we're global. Cowboy Nation, we are global. And anytime to get a chance to express your thoughts on somebody else's mind that's way, way, way across the world, it's fantastic, guys. Look, we only on this earth for a small, small time.
Amen.
And we can look back at this many years later and look and say, man, it was remarkable having Katie where's she from?
From somewhere in England.
Somewhere in England.
So she literally stumbled upon my channel and was saying, I want to learn about football. What team should I support? And I was like, hey, America's team, okay?
Right.
And she's gone through and went from having no knowledge whatsoever to start studying. And I'm kind of like, wait a minute. You know more than Scott Linehan does about the offense.
Man.
So,
It's funny as hell.
and like everything, there's always divisive comments and stuff, no matter what you do.
Right.
And it's like, I just get yelled at if I talk about Dak Prescott. Oh, you're just a Dak apologist. I'm like, no, I'm trying to tell you there's not a whole lot of quarterbacks out there. You know, if you're talking about getting rid of Dak Prescott, okay, who you bringing in? Who you drafting? Ain't quarterbacks out there. Redskins just spent $70-some million for Alex Smith, and he may never play again. Minnesota just spent 84 guaranteed for Kirk Cousins. Do you feel good about that?
Right.
San Francisco spent the money for Jimmy Garoppolo on 7 games. And he's hanging out with porn stars, and he missed the season.
Right.
Okay, you know, and then people say, oh, well, let's go get Joe Flacco.
Wow.
I mean, he's old as dirt. So I'm like,
I mean, you got Super Bowl.
you guys are, you know, you can't just go to Walmart and just say, let's get a franchise quarterback.
Right.
And so when I do comparisons, because I would say, listen, Tony Romo was a great quarterback. I always said Tony Romo was a great quarterback. I got Tony Romo autographs, you know, Joe Boo jersey over here. I got Tony Romo autograph, hard hat over here. I defended Tony Romo. And I would say, listen, here's what happened before. Not because I was trying to denigrate Tony Romo, but make people understand that no quarterback is 100% on passes.
Right.
Okay? You know, one of the best plays or two of the best plays that Eli Manning ever made were really kind of bad passes. You think about the pass to Odell Beckham Jr. where Odell Beckham had to stretch out to the sky? You telling me that pass was on the money?
Right.
David Tyree hitting him in the face, you know, where he's falling backward. You telling me that one was on the money? But he is so micro-analyzed about every single thing. And I know, and believe me, I keep trying to tell people, I know he's still got a lot to learn. But if you then compare him and say, well, look at where Troy Aikman was at this point in his career. Look at where Matty Ice was in his career. So how dare you compare him to those guys? What do you mean how dare?
Right.
His numbers were better than this.
Don't you get this too? If those quarterbacks was on his team, we'd have walk-in Super Bowl championships. You know, it's just crazy to me. And then I get this other argument, Mark.
What's that?
And this is just really gets up. I'm gonna tell people this gets up under my skin because I love the Cowboys. If Tony Romo had this particular team, we would be in the Super Bowl. There's no wide receiver on this roster right now that's better than Terrell Owens in the combination of Terrell.
Dustin Baker, thank you for the super chat.
Oh, yes, Dustin, appreciate you for making the donation to help grow the nation. But
right, because somebody listen.
On this team that's better than DeMarcus Ware. Nobody on this team. You can't tell me that anybody on this team is giving us 18 to 19 sacks a year or 17, whatever it is.
Right, because I had people saying that if Tony Romo had the talent we had on this team and offensive line, that you know we would be blowing everybody away. And I was like, he did have this offensive line and running game. He had DeMarco Murray get 1,800 yards, and Zeke Elliott only had 1,400 this year. He had Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, Tyron Smith not miss a game. Excuse me.
And their youth.
Right. And had Dez Bryant, when Dez Bryant was in a contract year with the best career year he had. So I'm like, what are you talking about? We got an offensive line that's in flux. Dustin Baker, Law Wolfhound. Oh, Lord. So it just mystifies me. I mean, and the other thing that drives me crazy, too, is I pray that these people don't live their life this way because they are so defeated. They are so, we're just going to lose. You know, we suck. And I'm like, if we lose, let's deal with it tomorrow if we lose. But why sit there and make yourself depressed all week? I'm excited that we're playing. Washington Redskins, they ain't playing. Yeah. The New York Giants, they're trying to figure out if Eli Manning's coming back and under what conditions. We are one of 12 teams that have an opportunity to play for Super Bowl. Cruise Low, thank you for that super chat. And it's just like, why don't we just try and enjoy this and be happy? We may not get there, but I look at this team right now, and the way we are built right now, Junebug, I keep seeing you all over the place. The way this team is built right now, you take Sean Lee off of this team, if you take LP off this team, I got to believe that we're the youngest team in the NFL.
Hands down, yes.
So
We are.
you now have a quarterback who's trending up again. You got a running back that's only 3 years in and has 2 rushing titles in 3 years and should have had a third had he not been suspended by the NFL for bullshit. You've got the best linebacking core that only have 3 years of playing experience between them.
Right.
You've got a defensive line with DeMarcus Lawrence who does not look like he's a fluke. And all of a sudden you got a Randy Gregory who all of a sudden seems like he's getting it. He still makes a lot of mistakes. And you froze up on me again, Law.
Froze up. I just got to turn my camera on and off, I guess. But it's still, it is what it is, Mark. It is what it is with this team. Let people hate, let people have their opinions. But the thing is, as long as we do the things that we need to do, Cowboy Nation, then we be okay. Tony Romo had his fun in the sun. He didn't get us there. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. We're not hating on the guy. And then on top of that, if we look further on to this team and focus on the things that we have, we got a decent, I'm talking about a decent team altogether. And we got a team that's growing. Man, just growing, man. I can't say it much more, man. This team is so young.
Oh, my God.
And then on top of that, is this going to be nice, man? The years and years beyond.
That's what I'm saying. The future is bright. We may not win the Super Bowl this year, but you got to look at it and say with the young talent that we have opportunities. But Cleveland Brown is asking about who do you side with, Vander Esch or Sean Lee to start in the playoffs? I want to hear your take on this.
Man, my brother from another mother, Vaj Lombardi and Okoye, I call him Akuye.
Okay.
They both jumped on me when I jumped on their show when I talked about like, hey, let's ride the horse we rode in on, man. Let's stick with the young buck 55 double nickel and keep that continuity in Poison 54. And they went back and said, no, you got to understand that Sean Lee have mass experience with the playing against the Russell Wilsons of the world. But I'm sitting here like, nah, that's on the opposite side of the ball. Give me the guy that got setting all type of records for a linebacker core, and give me that poise and that continuity with number 54. I can see that when Sean Lee got out there, that 68-yard run that happened against the Saquon Barkleys of the world, he didn't disengage, he didn't turn his hips, he didn't get open, and he didn't fly over to get that tackle. It was right there.
He looked like a shell. I'm sorry. Tackle. He looked like a shell of himself. And I think the injuries have added up.
And I'm not throwing Sean Lee under the bus. I love Sean Lee. I love him. But at this point and at this time, let the young man shine. You know what I mean? I'm rhyming today.
Well, see, I'm going to equate it. Here's how I'm going to equate it to. I want you to think back to the last time we were in the playoffs against the Seahawks, and our defense ended up getting kind of stymied early in that game. And we had a player who started out the season playing really, really well, probably the best of his career, and then got hurt and came back for the playoffs. And in a game, Morris Claiborne, the better known as the Glass Man, had a 15-yard penalty, which on a play that would have been a fourth down, we would have had them kicking, gave him a first down. A couple other plays, he got burned because he was rusty and he was that guy that never was there. I think you end up going with the hot hand. Now, to save face, remember, our base defense is that 3 linebacker set. Yeah, you go out there a few plays and begin with Sean Lee as the right side linebacker, and you keep Vander Esch in there. And when you go back to the 2-man linebacking core, you set Sean Lee down. I look at it.
As much as, like I said, as much as I love Sean Lee, that strong side linebacker on the strong side needs to still be Wilson. And trust me, Wilson is a liability as it relates in coverage.
Right.
But against the run, I'm telling you guys, baby, he can get there. And that's the number 1 rush team. They like to hit you up with the run first. So in my base look, I would still have Wilson number 57 out there. Keep Jalen Smith as the Mike and keep LVE running free as the weak side linebacker.
Yeah.
I know it might look good on paper, throwing Sean Lee out there and rotating, I guess, Jalen Smith as the strong side linebacker. And I guess you move LVE as the Mike and use Sean Lee as the weak side wheel. But no, I don't want to throw up I don't want to mess up their chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
You keep 57 as the strong side, and you forced my brother from another mother, no other, number 54 as that Mike, and let him fly out and get to the second level, get beyond the second level, and get to the quarterback. That's what I would do.
Now let's give now. We got great, we got great linebackers here, but we also have to give credit where credit's due. Part of the reason, sorry, Thomas Garrett, I missed that super chat. Thank you very much. Let's give credit due where credit is due, too. Because part of the reason why you can see a Van Der Esch flying around to the ball is because of the defensive line as well. I always preach, and every year it drives me crazy because when I wanted Calais Campbell, I said, look, the Cowboys need to sign that guy. People said, you're crazy. That guy's old. He only gets, 6 or 7 sacks a season. And I said, yeah, as a defensive tackle. But that guy occupies 2 men. And what that means is the guards aren't getting free and getting to the second level. Because what people don't understand, if you don't really know the intricacies about football, a defensive lineman's job is not to make tackles. That's not his first responsibility. His first responsibility is to tie up the offensive line, to keep the offensive line from being able to push them off the ball, to keep the linebackers clean so the linebackers can scrape and make the plays on the defense. And this defensive line, which you don't see those big numbers with a Tyrone Crawford or an Antoine Woods or, DeMarcus Lawrence thing. You look at the stats and say, well, they only had 30-some tackles or, 2 sacks. But they are occupying the offensive line so the rest of that defense can make those plays. And that's a part of the reason why those linebackers are doing so good. It is a team effort to me. Brian from SoCal, appreciate the super chat.
SoCal.
So, to me, that's one of the reasons why the linebacking core, they've got skills, without a doubt. And Jalen Smith is like a freight train out there. That's a man possessed. But that defensive line is making the rest of that defense better. And if you get that 300-pound monster in the middle that's getting double teams, then that means that's one less guy that's getting back there for the no.
Yes, indeed. We fly out
Great
to the
point
ball.
there, Dustin.
Yes, indeed. What Dustin had to say?
Lee's situation is just like Romo's. When Romo, got hurt and Dak took over, it was the whole thing, should we bring in Romo? Should we bring in Romo and everything else? Because that was the discussion going through literally every week. When Tony Romo's healthy, should he come back in? Should he start? But,
one can argue that the quarterback of the defense is the linebacker, but it's the Mike linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
The Sean Lee situation is that he played the weak side. It would be different if Sean Lee was the Mike. Mm-hmm. I do know that Sean Lee calls all the plays. He's like the guy that sets up everything. But so far, that's been number 54's responsibility. Remember, we talked about continuity and poise.
Yeah.
They feed off each other. 54 and 55, they feed off of one another. And especially when you rotate into the nickel, you have the extra DB out there, Anthony Brown, who's been solid this year. Mm-hmm. Just not lights out, but just been solid. He feeds off the Mike linebacker as well. And the type of scheme that we run, especially when we form the wall and we crash upfield, especially against the run, we really need to have those lane integrities out there. What we saw against the Giants, we saw their integrity missing. And I'm not calling Sean Lee trash or garbage or anything. It's a little rust factor. And like you said, with the Mo Claiborne situation, we do not want to play with that.
Right, because
I want to play with
one or two plays can be the difference in the game. Just like that, all of a sudden, boom, you're behind and you just can't catch up. That's what happened to us against Green Bay. You could look back and say, if we hadn't gotten so far behind against Green Bay, that we probably could have won that game. We still could have won it had we not left any time on the clock and had one play on the defense. But we don't want to get behind early in that game. We want to come out and be able to jump on those guys. We want that defense to smother them. So to me, it's just that Lee just has not played enough all of a sudden to think that he can just jump in there and not miss things or have that body be able to hold up. Corey, actually, if you go on, my other channel, because it's got enough subscribers on it, I actually have an online store. It's Teespring's Jobu store, I think, on that. I got my Jobu, finally got it together, my Jobu t-shirts and stuff on there, and you can order sweatshirts on there as well. I'll post the link on the video at the end of the show and stuff on there so you guys can do that. There was another question in there, and I forgot now. I'm having a brain fart. I have to go back in here. But going into this game, I really just hope we get this win, Law. I really hope we get this win.
We need it. We don't want it. We need it.
You know, and it's funny because I've gone through and I said I believe the Cowboys are going to win this. And it's so funny because I got some of these people in here that are saying, yeah, this video is going to come back to haunt you. We're going to jump on you about that. I was like, okay, but wait a minute. I'm like, wait. I'm like, wait, hold on. I said, I sit here and think about all these talking heads out there that said the Cowboys season was done. How many times they picked against us? How many times they've told us that this was going to happen and it doesn't? The Cowboys have no chance against this time. How come nobody ever goes back and throws that stuff at the talking heads when they're wrong? You ever notice that?
You know what happened?
What's
you know
that?
what they do? And I've seen it I watched them so that I can pick up material, so I can laugh and scoff at them. You know, everybody picked the New Orleans Saints to beat the Cowboys down, right?
Right.
Everybody had us, right? Everybody said, okay, the Saints, even some Cowboys fans. Some Cowboys fans were saying, well, the fickle fans, I'm not talking to anybody that's in the chat box, was saying like, oh, okay, yes, I can't wait for them to beat them down. They did my guy Dez Bryant wrong,
Yeah.
And I remember those. And so what happened here is when we win, they said, well, it was out of technicality.
Right.
Dak Prescott didn't throw over 300 yards. They only had 13 points. I mean, you want to take 1 point to win the game,
A win is a win. A win is a win.
But I guess to us, that wasn't a win. I guess to them, it wasn't a win, I meant to say, because we didn't win the fashion that they wanted to. But they didn't mention that we was at the one and we kneeled 3 times or 4 times, whatever it needed to be.
Right. But no, here's the funny thing about this is, you can prove something with stats. Okay, I've gone through and I said, okay, here's the numbers, exactly what happened. And they'll say, you've manipulated the stats to prove your point. I say, okay, all right. So then you go ahead and pull up stats, and you just compare straight numbers, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott. And you look at it, Dak's got more yards than those guys. The completion percentage is actually better. And if you take total touchdowns between rushing and passing, you got more than Carson Wentz. Then you get, well, it doesn't pass the eye test.
Right.
You and I could see a car accident right in front of both of us, and guess what? We will look at it and say 2 different people are at fault. That's the eye test. So no matter what happens, excuse me, it's just not going to be that anybody gives the man any credit at all.
I see.
Adam Wright, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate that. So it is actually after 10 o'clock, and we got a whole lot of people that are in here. I don't know if you need to get back to the wife and kids.
No, I think the little one is asleep right now.
Okay, well, we can go into overtime for a few minutes in here, since tomorrow is, God, I'm not going to sleep tonight. I'm being serious. I am so high. Give me a helmet, shoulder pads. I'll take one play. I'll go out there. I will give you hell for one play. That's how hyped I am for this game. The defense is a question mark. Do you think Garrett will be involved in the offense like he was in the New York Stinking Giant game? Scott Linehan is a liability. Oh God, I agree with you on that one. Now that's what we heard, that Garrett was more involved in the offense. Did you hear that rumor too?
When I looked at the game, when I heard that statement, I went back and I started to look at the times when Jason Garrett started calling the offense. And it looks like, more passes to the right of the field, rolling Dak Prescott to the right of the field. I wish I could show you guys some of the clips, but they will not allow me. But it did look like Jason Garrett was calling this particular game this past, against the Giants. It did look like Jason Garrett's offense. And I said, damn, those are staple pieces of Jason Garrett's offense.
Yeah. Well,
I had to go all the way back to 2009 and 10. And I saw Jason Garrett's fingerprints all over it.
Well, the big question is, okay, we know Jason Garrett's not going anywhere.
Right.
Do you think they're actually going to go ahead and get rid of Scott Linehan? Let's say hypothetically we win 2 playoff games or something. Do they still get rid of Scott Linehan?
It would be wise to get rid of Scott Linehan if you really want to see the full potentials of number 4.
Yeah, I think I think if you got somebody who really knows how to work with quarterbacks and is quarterback friendly, a Norv Turner type, that you would see Dak Prescott like a Russell Wilson. You know, Russell Wilson gets a lot of credit because they won a Super Bowl, and don't get me wrong, but they had the Legion of Boom, which was the great defense, and then they had my man Beast Mode. Your camera froze up on us again, Love. They had Beast Mode in there, and Beast Mode was killing people. So you could actually look at that Seattle Seahawks team, and you can see the Dallas Cowboys making in there as well. We got a great defense right now. We got a running back that can run the ball, and then you got a quarterback who doesn't have to do everything.
Yeah, let me see if I can turn it off.
Fahim Gore, hope I didn't butcher your name up too much. What's on the game day menu? Chicken wings, of course. We're going to have chicken wings. Michael suggested that we go ahead for the defense, do some of the bang sliders.
I said for Seattle.
Huh? No, we ain't making no. Screw Seattle. We ain't making no. We ain't eating nothing for Seattle. No coffee and no fish.
I didn't say fish.
Well, we're gonna do the bang. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna get the D-slaw with the bang shrimp. Excuse me, guys. Woo! Let me get some more of this coffee and rum.
Coffee and rum. Need to get some of that hand, man.
No. Joe Boo won't let me, man. It's all about the rum, man, with Joe Boo, okay? But
Incognito, shout out to you.
Tim Kroll, your troll left. I wouldn't let her be. Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that. Okay. Well, yeah, okay, but here's the thing. Mob BV. Right, Russell Wilson has scored 70 TDs in the last 2 years. True point. And why is that? Because he's got an offensive-minded coach, Pete Carroll, okay? But if you look at the first couple of years, that team didn't need him to do that. The reason why he's doing that is he didn't have beast mode. That team has changed. He didn't have the great defense that was giving him a short field. And he's had more years to mature. So when you look at it from that standpoint, it was forced to be that way, and he matured and developed as a quarterback. And so when I say that if we get an offensive-minded coach, if we bring the offense to the modern-day football era as opposed to 3 yards in a cloud of dust, if you have somebody who can teach him to get rid of the ball quicker, to get better reads, I don't think that Kellen Moore, there's nothing against Kellen Moore, is able to do that yet. Am I wrong?
Man, you 1,000% right. The thing is with Kellen Moore, he may be, like you said, the best quarterback coach in the world 10 years from now. Yeah. But he got to grow into that. And it's still growing pains that he's going to have to go through. Like you said, too, if the best guy for this team probably would have been a Norv Turner, believe it or not.
Geez,
they running a 90 styles offense. I think Norv Turner would have helped us out tremendously. Now, I do know that people are going to look at the Carolina Panthers and say, hold on, Law. You don't think that they're in the playoffs, huh?
No. But here's the thing.
It's not about that.
No. If you actually, Cam was playing with a messed up shoulder. For about the last half of the season, and he literally could not get the ball downfield. But before he got hurt, you were seeing his numbers had improved a whole lot because Norv Turner made him actually a better pocket quarterback. He didn't take him away from being able to run and do the things that he did well, but he enhanced what he was able to do in the pocket, and that's what you need an offensive coordinator to realize. Getting Dak moving is better than him being in the pocket.
Best completion percentage of his career
is when he's moving around. So you move the pocket around. You do the naked bootlegs with him. You end up doing the play action, which is where he is better, as opposed to just saying, well, our offense is you've got to be a 7-step drop back passer, and we're going to stand here and make you do that. And it's about getting wins. You have to look at a guy and say, this is what he does well, so how can we use that to our advantage? And that's where getting that right coordinator will do it. And I look at Dak, and as much as he has, like you said, the ugly spots or whatever you want to call it, people follow him and people believe in him, and he gets the stuff together when it counts down the stretch. So they always talk about quarterbacks that put a team on their back. If you've done that 14 times in 3 years to win a game, there's no more pressure than we got to score or we lose. Isn't that putting a team on your back?
Yeah, and hey, What we got, Mark? We got 4 more games, right?
That's right.
Who wears number 4?
Atlanta.
No. I said, who wears number 4?
Oh.
Dak Prescott.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right here.
Yeah. Dak Prescott wears number 4. He shines in the fourth quarter. You see? So and he played well in the last, I guess, quarter of this season as well. So I love this, how everything is coming together. We looked at the Green Bay Packers game in 2016. They both looked like they were still on vacation mode until the second half.
Oh, yeah.
If we can get pieces of what Dak Prescott played like in the second half of that game going into this first half in the second half of the next game.
Or New York game this past week. Or the New York Giants game this past week. We get that.
Yeah, and the defense playing a whole lot better.
Yeah, defense, right. And put Zeke Elliott into it? Oh, man. But here's the thing.
Fresh Zeke. Zeke Elliott should be fresh. He should look, he had 130 yards, 127 yards the first time seeing the Seattle Seahawks, right? At their place. Look, Ezekiel Elliott, Zeke the Freak should put up at least 150 on him.
I agree with you
Just
on that one.
running. And I'm not even talking about the 50 or 60-yard passing that he's going to achieve tomorrow.
Right.
Man, it's going to be nice.
Again, Seattle's defense, as great as they have been with the pass rush, 4.9 yards per carry they've been giving up to running backs. So you can eat. You can definitely eat on that one. Clutch is winning in the playoffs. And that's where I'm hoping. Shallow Hal, haven't seen you here in a while, man. You and Glock and some of those other ones that are usually hating on Dak and things like that. I know you guys are laying in wait, but I got to tell you, or I got to at least ask you, aren't you at least happy about where the team is? Because I feel like some people are waiting for him to lose and they're happy when he does. And it's like, how the heck can you be a Dallas Cowboy fan and you're rooting for him to lose?
Because people love to be right. Like, it seems like I was so wrong on LVE, right? I was so wrong on him. I love every bit of it because of the simple fact that this boy is shining. And he may be Defensive Rookie of the Year, you see. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not wishing him.
Second team All-Pro.
Second team All-Pro. Wow.
And that brings up something else. You know what? See, I'm hoping. See, Joe Boo over here, he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's got a big chip on his shoulder. Because no matter what happens, we always get slighted. We are the redheaded stepchild. Here it is, Zeke Elliott wins the rushing championship, doesn't even play the last game of the season. You know he's second team All-Pro. Todd Gurley is first team All-Pro. Tell me how that happens.
They're looking at the touchdowns. Gurley had over, 17, 18 touchdowns this year?
All right, okay, I'll give you that one, but I'm sorry, but still. Do you think that's right?
Well, I don't think it's right, but look, they can have that. I want the Lombardi. That's
right, and that's what I'm saying, because, see, I got my new thing right here. I should get a T-shirt made, the 3 R's. That needs to be the Dallas Cowboys motto. You know, Jason Garrett's thing this year was respect. Okay, that's his motto this year. You need to go out and get respect, because we know they are not going to respect us. Scott Skimpkins, appreciate the super chat. So respect. You know, DeMarcus Lawrence went to against New Orleans, and he got the respect by punching him in the mouth, right? My second R, redemption. You look at a guy like a Randy Gregory, who could not get right. He was just can't get right. Always ended up being suspended. He is redeeming himself. The first half of the season kept getting all these dumb penalties. He's still getting a bunch of them. But you look at him now, mature. He is redeeming himself. And I'm hoping that this Dallas Cowboy team, after the failures since the 90s, can redeem itself by winning some of those games, by winning in the playoffs, by changing the narrative, that Jason Garrett can redeem himself, and all of a sudden, it's more than just having those regular season wins, that we can look back and say, you know what, that guy, when the team was crap at 3-5, redeemed himself because he kept that team together, kept them fighting, and went 7-1 with some momentum in the playoffs and won the Super Bowl. He can redeem himself. And my third one is revenge. And we need to get some revenge against these Seattle Seahawks. Seattle, we had that botch snap and everything up there with Tony Romo all those years ago. We look at last year where we had the Des Bryant meltdown and where we were there on the goal line with Zeke Elliott and decided to pass the ball over and over again. And had we scored that touchdown, I believe we win that game. We're in the playoffs last year. We just have not been able to do it against Seattle. We need to get revenge from those guys. So it's the 3 R's. Respect, redemption, and revenge.
Shawshank Redemption, boy. I'm talking about respect. Boy, put some respect on that name. Revenge
that's my motto. And if you see that anywhere, you remember where you heard it from, okay? Because I bet you it's going to be on a T-shirt someplace, somewhere soon. But I'm excited about this game, man. I am so freaking hyped up about it that I just can't wait for kickoff on it. And I pray that it goes our way. But I feel good about it.
Oh, man, I feel wonderful about it, man. Hey, they're going to put some respect on our name. They're going to get this. We're going to get this redemption and revenge. It's like the sweetest joy next to get it. You guys know what the rest is. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. I love that, Mark. I love the 3 R's. It's something that's very can be very trendy. We just got to put that W up tomorrow and let them know who the Cowboys are. I want everybody out there that's in this chat box that's going to be down here at the game. Throw on that white. Let's get this thing right.
Oh, and listen.
Yeah.
Are you going to be at the game?
No, I'm not going to be at the game, though.
I tell you what. If you're going to be at the game, understand that Pete Carroll called you a punk. Okay? All right? He said that our stadium is like a nightclub. It's a great party atmosphere. But there's no sound. It must bounce off of the TV. When you go in there, you see all the people that are in the room there, in the entranceway and stuff. They can't even see the game. So what he is saying is I ain't scared of you. I ain't worried about the crowd. You're not like my team. So you need to get in there and you need to be loud. You need to be proud and you need to scare the piss out them MFers. DT, thank you very much for the super chat. I'm serious. We need to develop a home field advantage in there. I'm tired of people talking about my stadium and my team. I mean this stuff. So I'm going to give you the final words. I want your prediction for the score tomorrow.
I'm greedy. I says 24-13. I don't want them to score multiple touchdowns, but it's going to be one of those games, Mark, that if we get out there, and if we score early and often, we get into the money zone, green zone, red zone, we punch it in with Ezekiel at the path of the righteous man, right? We do those things, we win this game. We do not get turnovers as often, but if we get a few of those as well, I'm talking about I can see in my mind Randy Gregory coming off the edge, getting a big fat sack. Fumble. And then also, my God, Terry Smith picking it up, running it into the touchdown. And then they just do the swipe and then LVE behind him howling at the stars, right?
All right, now.
So do all those things right there that you guys are revving me up. And I'm telling you right now, one way or another, Cowboy Nation.
Amen to that.
For us to stand
Preach
and
it,
rise
brother.
up
Preach
to
it.
our feet and be able to pull those gloves out and punch with our fists. So now that we hit and we punch them in the mouth like my brother from another mother, D-Law said, and then we knock them out cold because we get tired of these running quarterbacks. This would be the statement piece that the Dallas Cowboys
Preach it, man. Preach
the
it.
whole entire world know, especially ESPN, the Shannon Sharps of the world and the fake Skip Baylesses of the world counting us out too. And then I'm talking about the guy with the power, with all of the forehead power. I'm talking about Stephen Stanky A. Smith. I can't wait for us to show up.
The accident waiting to happen.
Everybody that the Cowboy Nation, we don't play around with our food. We're going to eat it up and we're going to go.
Amen. Amen, brother. Preach it. Amen. Amen. Amen.
With pools of sweat, Michael Irvin said, no. This is 3 more games that we gotta win. Now we gotta win 2 more games. And now we gotta win the one ultimate game. He gonna have so much sweat I can see it on ESPN right now. He gonna have to take off his glasses and he gonna say, "Hey, Cowboy Nation, let's throw this thing down. Let's get this thing going." Spit gonna be everywhere.
Oh man.
Be hosting the Lombardi Trophy, and I'm gonna be having tears of joy down my eyes. But it all starts tomorrow at 7:15. I want you guys to have your whites on, and let's get this thing going one way or another. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute.
Oh, man. I can't follow that. Unfortunately, your camera froze up on us, though, man. Damn.
Oh, buddy.
But listen, you can see we are fired up. I want to thank the 400-plus people that are in here right now. I want you guys vocal tomorrow. I don't care where you are. We got to put it out into the universe that we are going to win. I don't want to hear any of this negativity. I'm tired with it. I'm done. We got to get behind our team and be ready to fight just like they are. Loud and proud. Make sure you subscribe to the man, nothing but the best, Law Nation. He is one of the best. I want to ask you one quick question.
Talk to me.
Okoye, he said he was done with Dak Prescott early in the season. Has he changed his narrative any at all? Any at all? Man. Is he at least giving him just a little bit of credit?
Nah, he backpedaled like Deion Sanders and giving that brother a whole bunch of credit.
Is he now?
Okay. But my boy right there, Coulier, man, he cool with it, man. But it is what it is.
Dustin Baker, thank you, Super Chat.
I told everybody. Yes, indeed. Shout out to the donation to help grow the nation. I told everybody before, man, this kid got something special.
I'm telling you,
it's the intangibles. 32 games?
32. That's right. Josh Manny, thank you very much for Super Chat. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here because I'm going to get ready for tomorrow. But because you guys have helped out with this channel and stuff, anybody who has been watching this channel for any length of time knows that I'm always trying to do something different. That's why I started bringing in Katie, because Katie, attractive woman. All right, let's be honest. Attractive woman, wants to learn about football. And when you look at a lot of the television shows, when you have your Stephen A. Smith and stuff, they have a Molly in there. So we're trying to go ahead and do some different things. But because of your Super Chats, this is another Mevo camera, which I use right here, my live stream. So I actually have two of them. These cameras are actually incredible and everything else. And we're looking at and upgrading and doing more and more things. So that way we can bring you better and better coverage. We're going to end up actually changing the studio in the off season. So that way when we start doing these live streams and stuff, that we'll have a couple of monitors. So shout out to all of you people out there that have helped this channel become what it is. And what it is, I really don't know. But it is what it is because of you guys. And we're going to be here tomorrow, starting out at 7:30 for the game. Thank you, everybody, and have a great